Welcome back, everyone, to the finals of the Battle for Indiana League of Legends tournament. It's been a long day of games. It's been a long day for the both of us, but we finally made it to the finals between IU and Purdue University, and both of these teams looking really impressive going into finals.
I mean, and both of these teams need no introduction. They stomped their way all the way through the single round robin, and the only game that either of the teams dropped was to each other. IU had only lost one game, and that was to Purdue. They destroyed everyone else, and the games were barely close.
Yeah, absolutely. And IU, as we saw in that last game against Valpo, they matched an early game team comp and then won in the early game, which it's impressive. It's absolutely impressive to see. So let's go ahead and once again introduce these teams for the last time, although they need no introduction. For Indiana University, in the top lane, we have Wilkie. In the jungle, we have the Terrians. In mid lane, we have Speedy. In bot lane, we have Amended. And on support, we have Rock Tank.
All right. And on the other side of the map, we do have Purdue University, who, again, also need no introduction. They've been smashing. In the top lane, it's Giraffe Hugs. In the jungle, it's Saknam. And in the mid lane, it's LZ Nasta. In the ADC role, it's Magic Stick. And in the support role, it's Pout Kid.
Yeah, Pout Kid's got a lot of support. I remember I was checking the chat earlier. Pout Kid, a lot of Pout Kid fans were out giving support for the boy. Mad respect for the homie. You always got to support your homies. Mad respect it. But now that we see, because these teams matched up earlier, and Purdue ended up getting the win. And judging by the at least the post game that we saw, it was actually pretty much in Purdue's favor.
Yeah, I mean, again, in the head-to-head, in the one game that they played against each other, Purdue did win, but best of ones is a completely different environment than a best of three. You have your own little meta that kind of develops throughout the series. So the first game, whichever team wins, will probably try and replicate that into the next game, and the other team's going to be looking to try something different. So we're going to see how this develops throughout the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the previous game, we did see a couple interesting picks. The Terrians did play Nunu, which does have some Nunu games in his backlog, and we also saw Pout Kid on the Zillion support, which it was Zillion mid. It was who was mid and who was support? I'm looking at it was Zillion support. I didn't recognize the jungle item. I play mages, I don't play tanks. So so yeah, it was Zillion support, and yes, you see some interesting stuff. IU also had the Renekton mid, which looks like it didn't go well. Judging by last game, I think we've expended our crocodile quota for today. We can go ahead, leave the croc behind. Maybe focus on some other picks, perhaps.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Renekton is an extremely strong pick if you play around it correctly, but again, Renekton's mainly a counter pick, and you do need to give jungle attention to the top side so that it can have the help it needs to try and make it useful.
Yeah, and before we get into game here, if we could go over, I would like to go over the totals as we get into the finals of points for the tournament as a whole. In the lead, we have Purdue with 20 points over the duration of the tournament. In second place, we have IU with 11, Ball State at 9 in third, Butler in fourth with 6. I believe that is Valpo with 1 point in fifth place, and then tied for last, we have Manchester and Bethel. So, yeah. Although technically Purdue has already won in terms of points for the event. However, does that really matter if you get bodied in League of Legends? The thinking man's game, the superior gameplay.
Of course, they're still playing to win this League of Legends portion. Just because they've won in points doesn't mean they can't still win the League of Legends portion. IU, since they're already in the finals here, they've also secured second place. So the points standings will not change at all. IU still, like, even if IU wins this championship and league, they won't overtake Purdue in points. So they're playing just for League of Legends right now.
Yeah, but if they win this, the League of Legends team can walk away and said, we absolutely smacked Purdue. Despite them going in with despite them beating us in best of ones, we proved we were the better team in best of three, which is a superior format.
We also have to understand that this is a good preview to the upcoming CLOL, college League of Legends, like collegiate League of Legends series that is starting actually this upcoming week. So this is a very good preview to see how these teams are going to match up against each other because they are all in the same conference.
Absolutely. And they're going to be playing a lot more games each other over the course of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So why not start strong? Why not really let them know this is it? We are Indiana University, and we do not care about the Boilermakers or your record or your players. We're here to win, and we're going to win hard.
And it's really telling because, again, this is going to be an extremely close match. These two teams were obviously the two top in the first round robin, and we've only seen them play against each other in one match. I mean, we're going to see potentially three more, and it's going to develop in so many different ways. It's going to be a blast to watch.
Yeah, it's absolutely just going to be thrilling here. We are just waiting on. Presumably they're doing pro draft, and we will see the draft as it happened in the past when they finish. So, any other things that we might need to look out for in this game? Are we going to start seeing? Are we going to see some similar bans, or are we going to see something more interesting come out?
So I think a lot of the meta picks that we've been seeing in the top games, or in the games that like top-rated teams are playing against each other, we're probably going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see Shen bans. We're going to see Hecarim players. We're going to see Lilia bans. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we've been seeing so far are probably going to stay the same. But what I'm interested in is the type of pocket picks and the type of picks they're going to bring out that can develop throughout the series. I want to see the draft for Game 2 and how Game 1 affected that.
Yeah, how are these teams going to adapt with what they learned? Like, if IU, like, they're clearly playing one strategy and they play it really well, why not you get to adapt in the second game to try and counter that? Or if Purdue plays really well with a certain strategy, you get the chance to counter that. And both of these teams are incredibly smart, as we've seen, and they are capable of doing these things. They aren't going to they're less likely to throw away random fights and try and have fun. I don't know if we'll see some Malphite mids. I have not been impressed with the Malphite mid today, but I guess it could happen. It would make mid so not interesting, but I guess it happens. It happens.
And one thing we should recognize is that the next game, in Game 2, they do swap sides, and that is incredibly impactful for draft because on blue side, you do get first pick. Having blue side is extremely powerful for trying to get power picks, really strong champions early on that the red side can't ban all the way. You're going to get a champion that you want to build your comp around, and red side is really good for counter picks. Usually you want to try and save your most valuable picks for the late parts of the draft, the final 2 picks, and try your best to get a counter pick that you want to play around because you're going to see blue side's picks before you have to pick your champions.
Yeah, and you can also pick champions that have hard counters on R5. Champions like Karthus can come out on R5 and find a lot of success. And that's what we should see. We shouldn't see any Renekton's R5. Could happen. I don't know about that, but
I mean, it's really interesting. Both of these mid laners have shown to have a lot of good talent. I know Speedy has shown a ton of talent. He's been kind of a star for this roster, and he's been carrying a lot of their games.
Yeah, both Speedy and Amended have been carrying, and we're going to be getting into the draft right now. So we're going to see what happens here, how it's going to shake out in this matchup. Purdue versus IU. Lilia ban. A ban that's been banned the whole tournament. Not a surprise. The Gragas ban against Saknom, not a surprise either.
Not a surprise. He's basically a Gragas one trick.
Yeah, that's a targeted ban. Another this is a lot of targeted bans coming out right now. Pike getting denied from Rock Tank. The Illaoi is also a target ban. Giraffe Hugs plays a lot of Illaoi. And
I'm getting really worried for IU here if they don't ban Hecarim or Shen. If they don't ban Hecarim or Shen, they're going to give one of those really strong power picks over to Purdue, and they banned Kale.
They didn't ban that, and
the GP. Okay.
They picked GP, so that's
wait. Oh, this is pro draft. Okay, they did pro draft first, so these aren't actually the first picks. They're just drafting in the order that the champions are.
Yeah, although he was hovering Mordekaiser for a second there. Wrong M champion.
So I'm going to assume they first picked Hecarim then.
More than likely that was a first pick Hecarim, and probably an early Orianna, just because Orianna's a really safe pick.
And we're seeing a lot of the same comp from IU last game. They're drafting kind of late game scaly tanks and like wave clear damage mid laners, own control. It definitely looks like they want to play for team fights.
Yeah, they're looking to team fight, and that's what the goal is. The Zed ban, so they must have been terrified of the Zed. They were thinking that could happen. Speedy does play a lot of assassins, so it is not a surprise to see that. Okay, the Mordekaiser was banned. They were just hovering it to think about Mordekaiser and how much they love him.
Those bans do tell me that GP was a late pick because they knew top was going to get counterpicked, which is kind of weird because I use top lane as Maokai. I mean, that's two weak side top laners up in the top lane, Maokai versus Gangplank. So I can tell both the teams want to play around their mid and bot lanes.
The Swain bot lane. We saw that this was showing up. This did show up at Worlds, so not a surprise. We did see it earlier today too, when I believe it was Manchester pulled it out against Ball State. And
the Swain
Pantheon. Oh, that is a power combination.
That is a powerful combination.
Rock Tank.
If anybody watching knows how those two champions work, Pantheon W's, Swain pulls him back, combos with his root. It's a pretty big wombo combo, and I don't think anything short of an Alistar can survive it.
Yeah, Alistar popping his ultimate can survive the CC and damage. Ezreal does have his blink, but what are you gonna? You get pulled back and then you blink, so what? You don't make up any distance there with the blink unless he times it properly and dodges out, which we Magic Stick has performed well, so definitely possible. This is gonna be a lot of. We're going to see this one go. I think we're going to see this one go late. Unless one team gets a commanding lead, both teams are going to want to fight later in the game.
It is really obvious where IU wants to play around. They want Volibear to try and make it to bot lane. They want Volibear to constantly gank bot lane because of how much CC they have and how immobile Alistar can be sometimes. I mean, you're going to have some difficulty killing an Ezreal because, let's be real, it's Ezreal. But Alistar is free to take.
Yeah, Alistar is also before he gets level 3, he doesn't have every tool he needs to engage, because if he's missing any of his spells, he's a lot weaker than he should be, and it feels really bad on the Alistar when you're just waiting to get your opportunity to finally engage, and by that time, like, he could get poked out by Pantheon and Swain, and he could get killed. If he steps up too far, he just gets stunned and pulled in, and it's gonna be rough for him, but Pout Kid just gotta wait it out, wait for the levels, and wait for the Hecarim to counter gank. Because if Volibear's gonna focus bot, Hecarim's gonna follow.
My only worry for IU's team comp is the lack of consistent damage they have. I mean, they have a Swain and Victor, which that's some burst damage, plus it's AP, and their only AD damage really is Pantheon. They're lacking in the damage department. We're probably gonna see some magic resistance items from Hecarim, from Alistar. It's gonna be difficult to cut through, especially when it's a burst mage rather than like consistent damage.
Yeah, it is gonna be hard for this IU team to cut through Purdue, but at the same time, IU is incredibly tanky. So if Ezreal doesn't get a lead, he's going to be pretty far behind. So it's going to still take him a while to get up to the point where he can start one-shotting people like we saw Amended do a couple games ago on the Ezreal. Or was that last game? Yeah, it was a couple games ago.
Again, it comes down to whichever team gets a lead in the mid game. I think the mid game is going to be extremely telling here. Volibear is going to have more pressure on his bot lane. They might secure the first 2 dragons maybe. Volibear, and I would look towards Hecarim trying to secure some Rift Heralds, trying to get Orianna ahead. Taking down the mid tower is going to be extremely important for Purdue. If you take down that tier 1 mid tower, that opens up Orianna to move around the map, because it's extremely hard for Orianna to push into Victor, and vice versa. The 2 champions have so much AoE wave clear and so much zone control that it's hard for them to approach the tower.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the zone control, like that, like you said, that Purdue has. Or I'm sorry, I've spaced out. I'm so sorry. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's a long day.
Yeah, it's been a good one though. We've seen a lot of great games.
It's been a fun one.
Yeah, these games have been really scrappy. So hopefully we get to see some more scrapping. Love some good fights. That's that LPL style, you know.
The LPL style. That's becoming the world style now.
Yeah, it has become the world style, and you know, it turns out that some teams like LGD cannot actually execute on that.
Occasionally, yeah.
Oh jeez. Oh man, league's greatest disappointment. Oh man.
But we definitely should constantly be trying to track where Hecarim is. Again, we saw it multiple times throughout the entire first round robin. Yeah. Is that Hecarim is going to be countering whenever you're trying to make plays. And while I don't think Hecarim can necessarily counter effectively in the bot lane, if Volibear tries to make unnecessary plays in the mid or top lane, Hecarim's on his way for that. He wants that to happen.
Yeah, Hecarim will always be one step behind you. And we've loaded into the game. And once again, on the blue side, we have Purdue, Giraffe Hugs in the top lane on the gangplank. We have Hecarim in jungle, Orianna in the mid lane, Ezreal on bot lane, and Alistar support. Up against Indiana University with Maokai in the top lane, Volibear once again in the jungle for the Tarians, Victor in the mid lane, and then the Swain Pantheon bot lane for Amended and Rock Tank.
I mean, Volibear has done the same thing. Or
every game.
Sorry.
What else he's gonna do?
The Tarians, he has done the same thing every single game that I've seen of IU, at least. He goes to that same pixel brush, he places a ward down, backs, and gets a sweeper. I mean, if you guys don't know how to do the ward trick, in the beginning of the game, if you go and place down a ward, you would get like a super long, like over 2-minute timer until you get your next ward. So it's more efficient to just back and get a sweeper, because the sweeper will be up in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, true. In fact, both of their sweepers are literally up like right now, I believe. Yeah. They're coming up right now. So it's huge value, especially if you can come back and then sweep a ward, because that ward actually gives you enough EXP that it could give you a level above your opponent, which is a bit more cheesy, but it does happen occasionally.
Plus, whenever you're looking to make early game plays, having that sweeper is invaluable to make sure that the enemy doesn't know where you are.
Yeah, and Hecarim does not want to be spotted. He does not want to be seen. He's just gonna try his best to make stuff happen, and that's what everyone wants to do. Make stuff happen, and stuff is happening, but not a whole lot. It's you see some trades.
This is already something that we probably should have expected coming. IU's bot lane is pushing, so what they want to try and do is they want to hurry up and push this wave into the tower and have it bounce back to them so they can build up a wave and freeze it in front of their turret and leave it open for Volibear to gank.
Yeah, we see some damage coming in from the gangplank. Does get the barrel chain onto the Maokai, but the Root's gonna just trade back. A disadvantageous trade. Disadvantageous? Whatever. It was a bad trade. Disadvantageous. There it is. There's the real word.
I would have actually liked Volibear to start on the bot side, so he could have cleared his full cleared all the way up through his jungle, been on bot side for when that wave would have been heading back towards IU's turret. That would have been set up for like a really good gank, and it would have been perfect timing, but alas, missed opportunity.
Yeah, just a missed opportunity right there, but not a huge loss. Just think about the things that you could have done at the end of the day when you're trying to sleep. It's like, oh man, I could have done that. I could have done that gank. Could have roamed. But yeah.
Now he's just sitting there when the wave is pushed. You're way too early, man. You gotta wait for the wave to push back.
Yeah, there's not much, and Victor does get the shove in on Orianna, gets some pressure in the mid lane for Volibear to be able to easily take that bot scuttle. Hecarim's invading right now in the top side.
I mean, Volibear's falling extremely behind. He's wasting so much time on this bot lane that is ungankable right now because, one, they already know he's there. Two, he's wasted so much time just walking around. And as an effect, Hecarim's getting 3 camps ahead.
Ooh, yeah, Flash comes in from Rock Tank, goes in for the stun, the pull back from the Swain, and this is the combo we were looking for from the Swain and the Pantheon, getting a free kill. Magic Stick does not burn any summoners, though.
And that's exactly what I said before. You wait for the wave to push back, you freeze it in front of your turret, you let Volibear come in. It's just, Volibear didn't need to lose as much farm as he did for that to happen.
Yeah, it did end up getting the first blood for Indiana University, but the Volibear has fallen a little far behind, and the Hecarim is starting to get faster, and that's gonna be dangerous to see. And speaking of, here comes the devastating charge. Does not actually land. Well, it does land there, but the root will stop him from pulling back, and Wilkie escapes under tower.
And we had another gank mid.
Oh yeah, we got a gank here. Pantheon coming in for the engage, and he gets to execute with the spear. And we also got a fight up here with Volibear challenging the Hecarim, who's a level up, but Hecarim is gonna have some other people coming, so he decides that this is not a fight he wants to take, and he descends back into his jungle. But he's not feeling it. Pantheon does not want this man to live his life the way he wants to, and he's gonna get scared away. Pantheon's looking for the execute with the Q, won't find it, but that's gonna force Hecarim to recall, and that'll give Volibear some breathing room. Except right now, once again, more things are happening. Alistar goes for the engage, the trample, the combo, very clean from Poutkid, getting a kill on the Swain, who was abandoned by his support. So, a lot of action in a short period of time.
So, I mean, a lot of the bad things that happened to IU was a result of the top and bot lane having a really bad lane state. Both of their waves were building up in front of their turrets to push back towards Purdue, and Purdue knew this, and they capitalized on it. Pantheon moving was actually really bad for Swain. Pantheon couldn't move there, or at least stay as long as he did, because that leaves Swain out to dry. Look at how big that wave is. Look at how many blue minions are dying right now. Like, Swain isn't getting any of that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Swain is losing here, but here comes another stun from the Pantheon, and gonna go for an engage, but Alistar gets the knock up into the knockback, and Pantheon's in a terrible position, even with the shield. He's gonna get a ton of damage down. The GP ultimate comes in and helps out. Here comes Hecarim too. Sacknom coming in, slashing up the Swain. Swain's gonna duck under turret, get the pullback on the never move, but yeah, another kill picked up by a great engage from Alistar. And here on the top lane we have GP trying to fight Maokai, but that's not gonna be a fight that GP wants to take, because Maokai is really strong and Volibear is right there.
And this is a very good lesson in wave management. Always either freeze or push out your wave before you back. Pantheon, he backed prematurely, and we have another
engage. The Chaos Storm and the laser going down, dealing a ton of damage to the Orianna. The Shockwave is incredibly good. Sacknom, it might actually die to the dragon here. Are they going to even be able to secure it? They're not going to secure the dragon, but the laser's going to go down, and Volibear will take a kill. Rock Tank is going to do his best and will stun down the Orianna. Orianna's going to have flash. He has no way out. This is going to just be a free kill given over to Speedy. And yeah, IU play that like just better at that moment. Purdue does get the dragon, but that's about it.
I don't think I would have ever seen a jungler execute himself to a dragon while the enemy's coming, but
yeah, that was a little ambitious. Like, maybe he thought that he was just dead because IU was roaming down. It's like, well, I either die to them or I give one over to the dragon gods.
Maybe it was
better
RNG. The Gigabrain outplay.
Yeah, maybe the execute just was the best decision there. And Poutkid, clear out a ward behind enemy lines. Gonna get spotted out, but yeah, actually they are gonna keep going for it. And the Vision of Empire is gonna land and slow him down.
We gotta dive bot lane?
Yeah, we gotta dive top lane here. Hecarim is really low right now, and the Maokai is playing really well. The movement on that Maokai is unstoppable, but Poutkid, like we thought he was gonna get caught out, he is super caught out right now. The damage comes in, Amended takes that kill, and here in the top lane, we still have Volibear coming in and bailing out Maokai, who is in a bit of danger, but not really. Who really is in danger here? The stun, the slow the stun will not land, and the slow will be ineffective. And yeah, GP gets out. But, oh, geez. Hecarim is right here. The devastating charge, the damage coming in onto the Volibear. No matter how strong this Volibear is, Socknom on the Hecarim is just destroyed him there, ran him over.
I mean, we're just seeing full domination from this Hecarim on the map. I mean, this is why people ban Hecarim. He can be anywhere he needs to be, and he power clears through the jungle. He's always getting more gold than you. He's clearing faster. He has more tempo. It's so hard to play around.
Yeah, and even though IU is picking up a lot of stuff around the map, Purdue is playing well enough that they're keeping the gold lead even right now, pretty much.
And going back to it,
oh yeah, we got a Shockwave here. Shockwave lands, and here comes Hecarim. The onslaught of shadows sends that man to the Shadow Realm. Unfortunately for Victor, it looks like he had a good stun there, but just the Shockwave into the onslaught of shadows just. Ooh.
I don't really know what Victor was doing that far up. I mean, you have all the right to push out the wave, right? You can push out the wave, but why are you walking up and autoing the turret? Your jungler had just got back out on the map. You don't know where Hecarim is. Honestly, you probably know that Hecarim is on the top side of the map. Why are you that far out?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that Volibear was nearby, and perhaps that gave Victor some hope, some optimism, like, yeah, I got my jungler nearby, and then Hecarim from downtown just rolls in and showed up first, and that ended Victor's life.
I mean, even if Hecarim wasn't there, I think Orianna probably solo kills him. Like, she landed the Shockwave, he was taking tower shots, she procced her phase rush. It seems like a pretty free kill to me.
Yeah, potentially, but we don't have to think about that timeline, because Socknom just decided that wanted to secure it and get going. More power to the Hecarim, and as we go further into this game, this Hecarim will become more and more dangerous.
I mean, you gotta wonder, like, where's Volibear right now? He's farming slower than Hecarim. He has to start making some plays. Like, if you look at this bot lane, there's so much CC, Gangster, and Gimme. So go make those plays. The wave is going to bounce back to your bot lane's turret. Try and make that play.
Yeah, if you have this kind of bot lane, it looks like Volibear is listening to the cast right now. Trying to get the secret hint, but this is pretty clear play. All-Star is actually going to walk up. The flash onto the Ezreal. Ezreal does manage to try and get away, but Volibear dunks in, does slam him down. Pantheon's going to secure that kill. Socknam does engage, but he's taking a ton of damage right now from the Swain and from everyone else. Swain explodes and takes that out, but here comes the Shockwave, a two-man Shockwave from Liz Nasta coming in.
He's just walking around.
Yeah, Victor is he's waiting in the wings, but it looks like that this could be a dive, or perhaps it won't be a dive. And instead, meanwhile in top lane we have Maokai completely locking up this Gangplank. This is a battle that I don't believe Gangplank is gonna win. He's actually just gonna walk away. Maokai's out of mana, so not much is gonna get done here. That will be that'll be two. I believe that was 2 kills over to IU.
And we're starting to see each play show the ramifications of the play before it. Victor dying and letting Orianna get that wave control meant that Orianna can move first down to the bot lane, but we have another fight.
Oh, geez, yeah. Socknam's going in on to Rock Tank, and even though Rock Tank is strong, it's still a support. But here comes Volibear, waiting in the wings, coming in, helping out, trying to do what he can to keep Liz Nasta down, but no CC going to come out. The stun is not going to be there, and Victor is just going to get a laser out. So yeah, another kill. Hecarim, don't know what he was doing, but he got caught.
And here we see IU using their bot lane pressure that they've had. They just won that fight bot lane, so now they can start looking towards dragons, using this bot lane pressure to try and get objectives.
Yeah, but if Purdue is going to say anything about that, they're going to try and stop it. But here comes Pantheon from downtown, coming in, trying to kill Ezreal and /or Alistar. Alistar is going to be the first to go down here, it looks like. And Ezreal's going to try and fire back as much as he can, but Amended is so powerful right now. 4-1 on the Swain, and Maokai's down here. Ezreal is not long for this world. Here comes the tree rolling up, getting revenge for the Lorax right here, taking him down. The Vision of Empire looked like it was going to try and chaos, but you give that one over to Maokai. Come on, give him some money.
I mean, Purdue has to realize that they need to give this dragon. Look, it's the first dragon that IU's gonna get. It's okay to give them their first dragon. So just understand that that's your weak side of the map right now. You don't have pressure. You can't contest that dragon. Back up, take your farm, take your free waves. Just let them get the dragon. It'll be okay. But now you just gave her a couple kills.
Yeah, but in the top lane, you actually see Gangplank taking down a turret. But here comes Alistar for the engage, getting a pretty slow, good combo. But the shockwave was so late. The ball delivery system was not in sync as well as it could have been. So Victor gets out. And ooh, we get more engaged up here. Another battle between Maokai. This tree is so angry. This is the angriest tree on record. He's trying to smack down, but here comes Purdue. The onslaught of shadows goes to try and turn this around, but Indiana's here as well, coming in with a Chaos Storm, shredding this Orianna. The laser takes her out. Don't even need a rock tank there to jump in. He's there for moral support.
And that was really smart by Pantheon and Victor to try and move up to that top lane to foresee a fight coming early or before it even happens. They knew Hecarim and Orianna were moving top. They saw them move on the up into their jungle, so they reacted accordingly.
Yeah, even though nah, yeah, that's Pantheon. Pantheon may be strong, but he's not strong enough to just outright kill Hecarim there. Yeah. Or even though earlier today, Purdue looked like they had IU's number, IU is getting the lead here, and that's, as you said at the beginning of the cast, whoever's in the lead in mid game is gonna have a great position to finish the game out, and it looks like IU is on pace to be that team.
I mean, IU is just playing around their pressure points a lot better than Purdue is. Purdue's making plays where they don't exactly have business to be doing so. They're not pushing out their waves. They're not getting vision control. They're not making sure Hecarim is even on the side of the map that when they're trying to contest a dragon. It's simple mistakes, but it's causing them a lot of hurt.
Yeah, it's making this game a lot harder than it needs to be. But at the same time, the gold lead is not actually that far behind for Purdue, although a lot of that gold is likely loaded into the Gangplank, which not a bad thing. Rock Tank, he's feeling spicy. He's looking for something. He's looking for trouble is what he's looking for.
I still don't think that Purdue's bot lane, the Ezreal Alistar, can really take a fight against the Pantheon Swain, especially when the Pantheon and Swain are pretty far ahead. Again, as many mistakes as they've made, that's still the strong side of the map for IU, and IU still needs to continue to play around them. I really want to see them try and force this bot lane tier 1 down so that Pantheon can actually start moving around the map freely.
Yeah, and we've seen Pantheon already moving around the map. But meanwhile, yeah, this is not going to be a fight. Yeah, we've seen Pantheon moving around early game, but after there was some troubles in bot lane, Pantheon's mostly been just sticking down there with the Swain. Not a bad idea considering they're so dominant together, and they're waiting for something. They're waiting for somebody to misplay here. Poutkid, I think he's stopping the wave, but he also smells something. Smells something's fishy over there.
And for Maokai right now, things are just... This is dire straits for Maokai right now. He's trying to push out this wave, but Gangplank's going to freeze it right in front of his turret, and look at how far he has to run.
Ooh, but here comes Rock Tank going with stun, but All-Star actually manages to turn that around, pops his ultimate, takes a ton of damage right there, and Rock Tank does take some damage, but he's managed to get out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Wilkie is going to take not a whole lot of damage from Saknam and Gangplank, mostly just going to walk away here. So a lot of damage, but no kills. But Speedy's, Speedy is just gonna hang around, clear the wave, have a good time.
They are having a good time, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's vibing 4-1 right now on that Victor. He's absolutely he's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be dangerous.
And we saw both sides playing to their strong sides. Right now, Gangplank is playing strong side. We have another long fight.
Yeah, we're gonna have another fight with Gangplank and Maokai where nothing happens. Maokai goes in, forces Gangplank back. Gangplank shoots him, gets another grass proc. The most interesting thing happening right now is that we have Herald getting dropped in mid. Mm-hmm. So,
and like I said, they want to try and use this Herald mid to try and get this tier 1 mid down. They want Orianna to be unlocked, to not be trapped in mid lane with Victor constantly shredding her waves with his laser. Orianna needs to be moving around this map because she is a lot of the damage on this team.
Yeah, and they want to make use of that ball delivery system with the Alistar and the Orianna. Classic combination, but okay, Volibear just scaring out Hecarim, taking some Raptors.
And like I said, this is a result of the bot tier 1 going down. Now the bot lane is free to move around the map as they please.
Yeah,
the wave is always in a good spot for them.
They're gonna get this dragon right here too. And Hecarim is in no place to contest this. This is just going to be given over to them for free. So the first Ocean Dragon looks like it's going to be going over to Indiana University. First of 3, so it's going to still be a little bit of time. They have time before we hit Soul Point, and that's time that Purdue needs to start scaling with the Orianna, with the Ezreal, with the Gangplank. You know, we need to see these champions ramp up and really show why they're as good in team fights as they are and why Purdue picked this team.
So right now, what we're waiting for is we'll just say, like, this next dragon may just end up going to IU for free. It is sold.
Oh, Rocktank is engaging onto the Orianna alone, and even though it looks like she's alone, she's not really alone. She actually gets that kill, so in a 1 versus 3 situation, Orianna does take one for herself, taking down Rocktank. Maybe a little too aggro for Rocktank there, maybe a little too aggressive, but they do get one in the trade.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we need to try and just pay attention to Purdue's items going into these next few dragons. Right now, Purdue needs to try and get their two big items on each of their carries. Gangplank has already gotten his Essence Reaver. We're waiting for the Leandries on Orianna. We're waiting for the Triforce on Ezreal. I say they probably need to wait for those item breakpoints to try and take a fight right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And once they get those item breakpoints, they're going to be at a place where they can actually start shredding down these tanks on the side of IU. Mm-hmm. And this Pantheon is going to be useful for a while, but he's going to start falling off. And if he keeps taking engages like he just took, he's going to run into a situation where he goes for a stun and just dies instantly.
But you can already see that on the carries on IU, they're already at 2 items. It's signifying of the lead, but by the time that Purdue is able to get their 2 items or their second items ready, IU's lead is going to be something along the lines of maybe components of the next item. So the lead isn't as impactful as like having full items compared to components. So they can actually contest this next dragon as long as they play for those next items.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what they're probably going to be looking to do. Well, IU is going to be trying to take the tower topside. Yet coming back in from the Swain, the Never Move does land. Rocktank, though, steps up a little too far into the turret and gets shredded by Magic Stick right here. But in the 1v1 fight, this Maokai, who's been battling GP all game, is going to go down. Brought his tree-cutting axe today. Magic Stick's just going to pick up Amended for free here. So, despite Purdue being down for so long, and the fight's going to keep going as Saknam does engage with the devastating charge onto the Volibear. Volibear's just going to wander away from this one, wondering what happened to his team up top lane as Purdue's just turned the game around its head.
And what a good way to make it to your next item breakpoints than just collecting a few easy free shutdowns. I mean, if they're willing to just donate that gold, I mean, why not say yes?
Speaking of a donation, Victor may be offering another donation to Giraffe Hugs here, but it looks like not going to happen. Victor is not going to be going for this one, but Saknam might actually be in danger here. He's a little too far. The Onslaught of Shadows is going to have to be used defensively to get out of this one. Take the Blast Plant, hit that scrying plant, take the Scuttle, get some vision.
And now we've gone from Purdue trying to hope to contest this dragon to Purdue are now the ones having free reign on it. I mean, IU, why are you taking that fight in the top lane when you should be focusing on trying to collect dragons right now? But we have an engage. Yeah, we have an engage right here. Rocktank gonna go in on the Magic Stick. Pretty easy root into stun combo coming in. And Rocktank, again, dealing a bit of damage even to this Ezreal, because Ezreal is Ezreal and Triforce did not go IBG, so this Ezreal is super squishy. They're on Baron, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna see IU go for this Baron, a really risky Baron, especially with Saknam still up with Ghost, with Smite. The TP's gonna be coming in for Speedy right here. It's gonna try and help zone out. Yet zone out the team of the Purdue. The Gangplank ult comes down, keeps him trapped in the pit. The damage from the Gangplank is so incredible, just shreds Rocktank, and Purdue and IU's actually forced off of this Baron, and they're having to be corralled towards Purdue. Yeah, here comes Saknam with the devastating charge. Does a ton of damage, brings people where they need to be. Volibear's fighting back, takes a kill in return, but Gangplank is so strong right now that he can just absolutely demolish people. But now it's LZ Nasta in trouble, looking to try and trade a kill back onto Victor here, but it's not going to get enough damage. Alistar goes in, tries to do what he can with Gangplank around, but is going to die in the end. But here comes Magic Stick rolling up as the Ezreal, the True Shot Barrage misses, but the point-and-click gun takes out the Victor, and takes out the Swain, and that's a really messy fight, and IU loses pretty hard.
I mean, it's cool and all that you got to pick on Ezreal. Cool, that's their ADC, their main damage gone. But you're all huddling together in a Baron pit against an Orianna Gangplank. What do you think's gonna happen?
Ooh, Rock Tank going in for the stun combo with the Volibear. Looks like Magic Stick's just gonna accept the fact that he is dead as heck. And the second Ocean is gonna be going over to Purdue, so delaying the soul point for IU and getting themselves into position to get it themselves.
It's really difficult now for IU. IU, they need to try and play to get some items on their Victor now. Victor is now their main carry. It's shifting from Swain being their main carry to Victor. Victor needs to get some levels. He's close to level 16, which is the biggest breakpoint for Victor. Victor's already finished his Hex Core. 3 items. We can still see it.
Yeah, and like we saw before with the Swain, even when Swain's losing, Swain does a ton of damage, and we're gonna see the Leandries come in from the Swain. He's gonna start really shredding people, especially because the team of Purdue has not actually picked up that much MR across the board. We see a Merc Treads on Gangplank and the Aegis and the Zeeks on Alistar, but that's about it in terms of MR.
And I mean, we saw a preview of it in that last fight. Again, this is another time where IU actually wants to be constantly hiding back. They want to have Hecarim. They want to have Orianna. They want to have GP running into them so they can land their zone control, so they can land their CC. I mean, they want Victor's W to be zoning them off. They want the CC from Swain to keep them locked down so they can keep on hitting them. I mean, Maokai's going to keep them locked down. They have really good team fight, just not when they're the ones engaging.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right there. And yeah, but for right now, the game has slowed down a little bit as both of the teams are looking to just farm up a little bit, reset mentally, try and figure out what is the next angle here. The Dragon's going to be up in 3 minutes, but the Baron is still up and still a potential opportunity for both teams. I don't know if we'll see IU try that one again unless they get a couple of picks, but it's something that might bait people into a fight.
Again, like, engages have to be super careful.
Oh, speaking of engage, here comes Alistar onto the Maokai. Maokai is really tanky, but the Ezreal is doing his best to shred, but the return engage coming in. Pantheon gonna be stunning up Pout Kid, knocking him back, but the damage coming from the Ezreal just shreds through Maokai. Now it's Volibear who's gonna be in danger, trying to get this onto this Ezreal, but Magic Stick kites perfectly back here and keeps Volibear at arm's reach, and it's Volibear getting taken down there.
Like, you have to start thinking, where's the damage? I mean, you have a Maokai, you have Volibear, and you have a support Pantheon diving on an Alistar with his ultimate on him. Where's the damage? Like, how are you going to do the damage for that?
And because of that, because of those picks, we were talking about IU getting picks and getting Baron. Purdue is the one who's going to be getting picks and then picking up this first Baron of the game at 2650, and they're going to look to try and push this lead that they have now that they have their item breakpoints. They're going to be absolutely hungering. Ezreal has picked up the Bork right now. 3 items. We see Leandre's third. Leandre's third on GP. You'll love to see that.
And Purdue now has so many tank shredding items. I mean, the Leandries on both GP and Orianna. The Borg on Ezreal. These tanks are going to start being cut like paper. I mean, like butter with a knife or something like that. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, these high HP targets, they do not like that Leandries. And at the very least, Purdue is picking up some MR, so over time they'll be effective. We see the Morellonomicon coming in for the Orianna. Not a bad pick. Here, Rock Tanks maybe caught out here. The Onslaught of Shadows goes in. Rock Tank is super caught out here as the engage goes in onto the team of Indiana University. Orianna gets some damage out, pokes down Swain, forces them all back, and Purdue set themselves really well for this next dragon, it looks like.
And I mean, Purdue's just moving around the map perfectly. They push in the mid wave. They start getting control in the bot jungle. They start pushing in the bot wave. And now Orianna's back mid, pushing in the mid wave. There's so many points of pressure. IU doesn't know where to respond.
Yeah, they're picking the bot lane here, but Orianna just got mid lane. They still just lost bot lane, and there are two huge Baron empowered cannon minions looking to bust down these turrets here. And once again, the dragon is going to be coming up soon. That's going to be sole point for whoever can get to it. And Purdue's just looking really, really strong right now. But it's not over yet. It is absolutely not over yet. IU has plenty of ways back into this game, but we will just have to see if they can manage to.
I mean, yeah, IU, they don't, it's not like they need to start relying on mistakes from Purdue. They still have a good way of getting back into this game, but they're scaling. These tanks get tankier, these damage dealers get more damagey, you know? Like, it's not like they don't have their scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams are scaling, and both teams do have plenty of power. They have plenty of opportunities right now, and especially if Swain can get a random never move onto someone, pull him back in, set him up for the rest of his team to engage, that'd be good. But right now, first inhib's going to be taken down by Purdue, looking like they're going to pick up a second inhib. This Baron had so much value. The Maokai ultimate's going to look and try and root as many people as possible, but there's no real point into it. Now Purdue's looking at bot side. They're looking to just clean out the base here of Indiana.
This is one of the most efficient Baron plays I've seen.
Yeah, there's so much value coming out of this Baron. It looks like Purdue's got an angle here. Poutkid has an angle with the engage on the Alistar. He is behind enemy lines, but it doesn't really matter. Maokai goes unbelievably deep, but Volibear's going to follow that up. Volibear does actually manage to kill Ezreal. Ezreal's down, but LZ Nasta picks off the victor in the back of the fight. That's damage dealers down. Now GP is just going to be able to run wild on the enemy team right now, taking down Pantheon. It's going to be looking to shred Volibear next. Volibear picks up a shield, is going to go down in the back of the fight. Swain goes down to Orianna, and that's going to be an ace for Purdue and the game.
I mean, again, yeah, you got Ezreal, but there's still so many other damage options on their team. Whenever you limit the amount of damage options you have on your team, you have to be aware of when you can take fights. You have to try and play for picks, and Volibear and Maokai aren't making the cut damage-wise. Swain is Swain. I would have liked to see an actual AD carry in that position. It's more consistent damage, but that's the game. Purdue takes it, and some really good macro from Purdue.
Yeah, absolutely. Purdue, they were looking a little dicey early, but at the end of the day, they managed to pull it back. They know their win conditions. They know that they're scaling with the Ezreal, with the Orianna, with the GP, and they waited long enough to hit those item breakpoints and finish out the game with a win. It was much closer than their game in the groups, in the round robin, but yeah, I'd say that was really exciting. That's a good sign for how the series goes. So, how do you think Purdue is going? How do you think IU is going to turn this one back around?
So, I mean, the best thing that IU needs to do is try and look to changes in their draft. Their biggest issue there was they would go for picks, but they wouldn't necessarily have the damage to carry on the fight. Volibear and Maokai, yes, they're good frontline options, but maybe they should limit to only one frontline and maybe take some more damage. Maybe look to try and get a Hecarim pick because they are moving to blue side. Try and look for the Hecarim pick. Maybe try to look for the Lilia pick. Just get a really powerful top side champion, like damage dealer. Look for a Mordekaiser. Look for a Darius. Something like that to try and get some damage in the top lane.
Yeah, like Wilkie's been playing Maokai all day, and Wilkie plays a lot of Maokai, but maybe Maokai's not the solution. If we're going to keep picking Volibear in the jungle, and the Terrians has been playing a lot of that, then you might want to pick a more damage-dealing top laner. Alternatively, have the Terrians play one of his carry characters. Like you said, if they can get Hecarim first pick, that would be incredibly effective. But
it's okay to only have two damage dealers, but when your damage dealers are very one-dimensional and kind of act in the same way, you need to try and play around it. There's no versatility there. I mean, Swain and Victor were doing the same thing the whole match. They were zoning people away, but like when your team is going forward, it's really hard for Victor and Swain to follow up.
Yeah, you had the Pantheon there, and Pantheon got good engages early, but as Purdue picked up damage, like what does Pantheon do in that situation? He just gets burst down.
I'm okay with IU's team comp. I just definitely think an actual ADC in the ADC role would have gone so far for them. I mean, something like a Twitch. Twitch can follow up on engages so well with his stealth. Champions like Xayah. Other ADCs that are just really strong right now. I'm not sure if Ashe was left up. I think Ashe was banned, but Ashe would have been extremely powerful there.
Yeah, we could even see something like, maybe not Kaisa, because Kaisa's a bit out of meta, but something like the Kaisa, who can follow up really easily on the stuns with her damage, with her...
I don't know about Kaisa, but...
Hey, what? It's a possibility. You know, she follows up on CC decently well. Not the best option, but...
as long as she doesn't die 6 times in lane, but...
Well, all right, well... True. That's true. But if Kaisa gets past it, boy, it's not terrible. I hate playing with Kaisa. I don't know why I recommended Kaisa. I just gotta say, as a support player, I hate seeing Kaisas. I hate it when they go back. I get them a kill, they go back and they buy tier immediately. Incredible. Just what are you gonna do with that? What damage are you gonna do? Did you get a pickaxe? Why didn't you get pickaxe? Jeez.
I mean, either way, we definitely want to see IU try and get some sort of power pick because, I mean, what were their power picks in that last draft? Like Volibear, they didn't get any big counter picks that like we could have seen. I mean, they had an obvious strategy playing around their bot lane, but their bot lane only took them so far, and they need to try and maybe get some sort of one champion that they need to play around.
Yeah, and
an overarching plan.
Yeah, IU will be selecting blue side here. So we are going to be seeing, that IU will be getting that first pick, probably looking for the Hecarim if it doesn't get banned, or maybe even the Lilia. If the Lilia somehow gets through, that would be fantastic. And looks like we're going to actually be getting a peek at the draft here, which is absolutely exciting to see.
Okay.
Once it loads.
So we'll have to see these blue side bans. It's going to be extremely telling of how IU is going to want to play. It doesn't seem like anything's been banned yet. We're still waiting for the first ban. I'm really interested to see, like, because usually on blue side you ban what you don't want to play. So say like you want to play Hecarim, you're not going to ban Hecarim. You're going to ban everything else that's super strong because Purdue is going to have the next 2 picks.
Yeah, and if you're Purdue, what's the option there? You try and ban what you think IU is going to go for, ban the Hecarim, or ban other picks that you think IU will look to try and get. Just ban stuff that's strong, right? On Purdue's side, if you're red, just ban the top picks. Yeah.
And of course, there were certain things that did work really well for both teams. I don't think Purdue should change much. I think their drafting was actually pretty immaculate. They got the power picks they wanted. They got their weak side. They got their strong side. They played extremely well. I just want to see IU do the best they can to try and get power picks that they need. Ban out potential counter picks because whenever you should know the counters of the stuff that you're picking and be ready to ban that away, basically.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. But for Purdue, they can go into the game with the next strategy. For IU, should they go for this similar? We already know what didn't work in the last game. They did not have a lot of damage, but when they go into this game, that kind of strong bot side, do you think should they go for that strong bot side again, or should they focus on maybe looking towards top side, or maybe playing around Speedy, who's been doing really well in this tournament? Even in that last game, he was doing incredible on the Victor. So there are options for IU to turn this one around, and they're gonna be looking for that almost certainly.
I mean, it's gonna be really difficult, yeah.
All right, looks like the draft starting. Pro draft.
There's the Gragas ban. Yeah, that makes sense.
Ban out Socknom. Ban out Socknom's Gragas. That seems to be the trend here. Okay. Yeah, so the Gragas, not a surprise. The Lilia, also not a surprise if that does get locked in as a ban. We've been seeing it banned all day. We will never see this champion, which is unfortunate. I'm a big Lilia fan. Kale gets banned immediately. Pyke gets banned from Rock Tank. The Fiora will get banned away, and then Hecarim will be the last ban, so we will not see the Hecarim first pick. So let's...
Okay, they need to pick a power pick. They need to pick and build around their first champion.
Yeah, we're just gonna see Ezreal first pick of the 80 carries available. Caitlyn, Ashe, Jhin.
They use their first pick to pick a weak side bot laner. I mean, yeah, Ezreal's gonna be strong, like to the mid game when he has about 2 items, but this isn't a champion that's gonna win you a game.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like Ezreal first pick in like any situation. So the Ezreal first pick here is definitely a little spicy. The Lucian will get picked up by Purdue here. Is a flex. We've seen it in top lane, we've seen it in mid, and we've seen it in the bot lane. So Graves will be picked up by Purdue, probably going towards Socknom, but we have seen it mid. We did see Ball State play the Graves mid lane.
I like the Graves pick here a lot because, I mean, what Purdue is really good at is they're just drafting a lot of these damage deals and they're pushing forward. Graves supplements that perfectly. I mean, he's a power farmer. He is able to affect every stage in the game, and Socknob is looking to win another game for his team.
Yeah, and if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be Socknob. He's been playing immaculately this whole tournament. So I do think that we have a Volibear coming in once again for the Tarians. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Oh, please don't pick a tank top lane. Please, just throw them.
Okay, I mean, it works. It works if they're able to play it right. If they get Ezreal, Ezreal's an actual AD carry that can do consistent damage, they can do it. It's just, you need to play it right. You need to get those 2 damage dealers who have to buy extremely expensive items and the Triforce and Mage items maybe. You need to get them ahead, and
I do think the Thresh is a good blind here, picking the support. We're response with the Braum here. So Lucian Braum is a pretty solid combo in the bot lane. Still don't know if that's what they're going to do. We'll have to see based on...
It's probably more or less Lucian solo lane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lucian solo lane is just so much better. Right now, we're a lot of short-range AD carries are struggling in the bot lane, specifically because there's so many good ADCs in the bot lane that have so much range. Characters like Caitlyn, Ashe, Twitch, they're all so good, and how is Lucian going to compete with that? When he has to dash in, he'll just dash in and die.
Yeah, so he much prefers fighting a mage who is less likely to fight back early on. And we have the bans come out. The Zed gets banned away from Speedy. Gangplanks gets banned away from Draft Hog. It's not a surprise. The Cassiopeia gets banned on the side of Purdue, and Camille will get banned away from IU. So banning away a carry, banning away from Purdue. So 2 carry tops banned from IU. Purdue is looking to pick up the Mordekaiser.
I mean, it's a good pick. They don't have any magic damage right now. But what this tells us is Lucian definitely isn't going into the bot lane. They wouldn't feel the need to draft an AP top laner if their mid laner wasn't going to be AP or was. So Lucian definitely is in the mid lane, and so they're saving their last pick for an ADC counter pick, which is weird because
they already know who it is.
The entire bot lane for IU is already picked.
Like,
so
maybe
they could have just waited. They could have just waited for IU to pick their top lane, and then counter it. But now IU just gets the counter pick for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and they're gonna pick up the Jace, and that's one of the power picks of IU's top laner. That Jace it's pretty good, and Jace is good in the Mordekaiser, as we saw earlier.
We saw this matchup.
Yeah, it did not go well for the Mordekaiser player. So we're still waiting on this last pick. They're deliberating here. They're trying to figure out what they want to do to round out this team comp.
I mean, they need some sort of AP damage to I really like this.
Dinger.
Look at a common theme within the entire Purdue comp so far. They have either skill shots they need to hit, and they need to constantly be moving forward. Heimerdinger is the king of punishing people for engaging. Heimerdinger is actually such a good pick here, and not only that, Heimerdinger has a pretty safe lane against Lucian. Heimerdinger is going to constantly push Lucian in, and it's a Lucian bot lane.
It's a Lucian bot lane. I told you, Lucian Braum. You know, you can't it is a combo. We're gonna see the Twisted Fate. Maybe that was Purdue's big bait. They were like anybody reasonably would be like, nah, Lucian can't bot lane. This is a terrible idea. Why would you put Lucian bot lane? And then they bust out the. I don't even know if this is a counter pick. I think they just picked.
I don't think it is, because I mean this is a bad matchup for Twisted Fate. It has to be, right? Because Twisted Fate wants to move around the map, and Heimerdinger constantly pushes him into his tower. So if he's constantly pushed under his tower, how is Twisted Fate going to move around without basically just losing a million minions and losing his tower, and Heimerdinger getting so many turret plays of gold? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like this TF pick. If he wants to affect the map, that's cool and all, but not into Heimerdinger.
Yeah, and I think like the Heimerdinger is the crux of this comp right here. This is the meat right here. Like you have the Ezreal, who cares? Heimerdinger though, this is what you want to see. You want to see this kind of pick that just, like you said, just shuts down everything Purdue's trying to do with their comp. With the Heimerdinger just either dropping that turret or dropping the grenade with his ultimate. There's so much he can do, and it's not like Heimerdinger just outright loses in a 1v1, because he does have a lot of burst.
And I mean, one thing that we wanted to see from IU from the last game, to supplement one of the biggest issues they have, is we wanted to see more damage. Well, we have it. That's a Jace top lane. It's a Heimerdinger mid. It's an Ezreal bot lane. That's a lot of damage. Plus, they still have the front line with Thresh and Volibear. It's the best of both worlds, and I don't know why they didn't do it sooner.
Wait. I was sorry. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. What is this? Why is that Victor? Wait,
what?
Wait, hold up. Wait a second. What?
Okay, I think they accidentally drafted Heimerdinger, or they accidentally drafted Heimerdinger, and they meant to pick Victor.
Oh, now I'm less excited.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this matchup. How does the TF fare to the Victor?
This is completely different now. Victor can't compete with TF in the early levels. Victor has to wait till he gets his Hex cores, till he can wave clear Twisted Fate out, and by then Twisted Fate will probably already make a few plays. So hopefully this Victor pick will pan out, but I mean, Victor does have good scaling. He does a lot more damage than Heimerdinger will. A lot more consistent damage, a lot more burst, zone control, the whole shebang. But this gives Twisted Fate some wiggle room in the early game to try and get past it. He just gets to that level 6 and he starts affecting the map, especially when you have a Braum Lucian bot lane and a Mordekaiser top and a Jace that's constantly pushing. This is going to be a good game for Twisted Fate.
Yeah, Twisted Fate's he's going to have a field day, falling around Graves, picking up on that damage, just following up, looking to just secure as many kills as possible for his teammates. And like you said, this it's a kill lane, bot lane for Lucian and Braum. They're looking to try and get as much done as possible, as early as possible, before Ezreal becomes a threat, right? So yeah, so I do actually, now that we see the Victor, I do like the Twisted Fate.
The TF pick looks a lot better now.
Imagine if that was actually Heimerdinger and it wasn't Jace. That would have been exciting. And nope, it's just Victor. Victor again.
I mean, it did supplement the issue that they had of not enough damage. Picking that Jace up there, Jace versus Mordekaiser, Jace does naturally win that 1v1, does naturally kind of win throughout the lane, but he is going to need some jungle help. I know for a fact Graves is going to be heading up there. Jace is such a juicy gank target because of how much he pushes his opponent in. Volibear needs to be there because they actually do win that 2v2. Volibear Jace is a very strong 2v2.
Yeah. As absolutely a really strong 2v2 for ganking that Mordekaiser. But at the same time, when Mordekaiser hits 6, if he's in a good situation to just yank one of them into the death realm, wait for his jungler to come up, then Mordekaiser can fight back against those early ganks. If he plays well, like Jace is gonna probably win pretty hard in the top lane, I think, for a while, but we've seen Mordekaisers do crazy things this tournament, so
yeah. It's just I mean, we are looking at Jace to be that strong point on the map for IU. I mean, they put him on Maokai duty last game. They lost. They're trying something different. I mean, they're putting everything on the line right now. If they lose this game, they lose the championship.
Yeah, and that'll be Purdue picking up the win. And
Mhm.
obviously, if they lose, Purdue wins. What kind of commentary is that? But yeah, it's putting your faith into Wilkie after putting him on tank duty pretty much this whole tournament is really it's putting a lot onto his shoulders. And I think that this guy's going to be capable. If they believe in him, then he probably believes in himself, and that's all that really matters, right? Is that kind of emotional strength that this Jace player has. No longer on Maokai, no longer shackled by just being a wall, trying to punch people down aimlessly with a bramble smash or a bramble vest. You actually have the power to make things happen. And if he gets a lead, those empowered shock blasts are going to hurt Twisted Fate. They're going to hurt Lucian. Even Braum, they're going to have to hope Braum will block as many as possible coming into the later stages of the game.
And I mean, the bot lane for Purdue is a huge focal point. Lucian Braum, obviously, you said it before, it's an extremely powerful 2v2, and Ezreal Thresh isn't going to have many answers for it. We're not facing something like a Caitlyn or an Ashe. Like, Ezreal doesn't have many answers for whatever Lucian's trying to do in the lane, and I definitely think Twisted Fate and Graves should look to try and snowball whatever leads the bot lane can get together.
Yeah, that's the goal, as we've said. Purdue's got to look to get those early advantages, and at this time, IU's the one who's going to be looking to scale into the late game as much as they possibly can. So it's kind of a switch from what we saw last game, and it's even though Volibear is still in the jungle for IU has a completely different game plan. So it's exciting to see. This is the kind of adaptation you want to see in a best of 3, and IU can pick this up. Then we go to a game 3, and that'll be the real Thunderdome right there as we load into the game.
Thunderdome, yeah.
Yeah, the Thunderdome, the slam down, the smackdown. That's the real wrestling right there. I'm just looking at these keystones here. Pretty standard for the most part, and we're just gonna load in right now. So get ready for game 2 of Purdue versus Indiana. For Indiana on the blue team, we have Jace in the top lane, Volibear in the jungle, Victor in the mid lane, Ezreal in bot lane, and Thresh on support. And for Purdue on the red team, we have Mordekaiser in the top lane, Graves in the jungle, Twisted Fate in the mid lane, and Lucian in the bot lane with Braum. Good buddies, good old pals. Lucian and Braum is a duo as old as time itself, it feels like. And we got a pauser. It seems there was a disconnect in the mid lane for the side of IU. So,
I mean, things like this happen. It's technical difficulties. It happens to everybody. It happened to us earlier. So, I mean, nobody's safe from it.
Nobody's safe. Not even us.
We are seeing a bit of a level 1 move from Purdue.
Ooh, we got a flash coming in. The flash for flash. Graves is going to flash as well. So many flashes coming out. The double stun with the Braum.
Oh, they get it.
And Twisted Fate will pick up first blood onto the Thresh. That was incredible heads-up play from Purdue right there. They saw an opportunity and they took it. And given TF a sizable lead already. Ooh, he's going to have a Dark Seal. Oh, man. Double starting items. Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of start that Twisted Fate wants. If Twisted Fate can have just a free early game, a free trip to level 6, he's gonna just bring all sorts of issues for IU across the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And this will not put IU far behind. It won't really do much for that. It will just be... when you die level 1, it does feel a little bit bad, especially in that kind of situation. But a lot of summoners were blown on the side of Purdue, so could have been worse.
It's not the most it's not the biggest deal right now. It's actually going to have huge ramifications later because yes, having this Dark Seal makes this Twisted Fate such a powerful laner that not only is he going to have pressure on the Victor. Like I said, he gets a free road to level 6, which is exactly what Twisted Fate wants.
He hits level 6, and suddenly the rest of the map has to start being afraid of this card throwing fiend in the mid lane, attempting to just make as much happen as possible. And the Mordekaiser not getting shoved back as hard as we've seen in the past up in the top lane, which is certainly interesting.
Well, there's a bit of a difference from what we've seen earlier.
what we saw earlier, yeah.
There's a bit of a difference between a bit of player skill.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Might be some user error, but I mean, there already is a bit of a CS discrepancy. He's building up that wave. He's pushing it in. And of course, he's gonna wait for that wave to try and bounce back to his tower, freeze, and wait for a gank. And Graves is actually pathing correctly. He's pathing full clearing all the way down to his bot side, so when he backs, his top camps are going to be up, so he has the option to either gank top side or take his camps. It's a win-win no matter what for Graves.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did see a little bit of a trade in the bot side. The stun did not get proc there, so not a whole lot of threat coming out quite yet for Amended and Rock Tank, although they do still have to be afraid because Graves is bot side. Although I don't know if he is looking for it. Graves is going to try and make something happen down here. But I'd love to see that, but instead we're going to be watching the mid lane, and the hook will go wide, but it looks like what happened down there is just Graves went in, Graves did a bit of damage, Graves walked away.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that sounds about right. I mean, I just don't see many ways that gank could have worked without Braum getting his passive on any of them.
Yeah, speaking of ganks, we see Volibear topside. I wonder if they're planning a dive. It seems really risky this early on to go for a dive, but
it doesn't seem like the wave for blue side is big enough right now to try and go for a dive. I mean, Volibear is falling behind the farm right now.
Yeah, Volibear is going to be abandoning that to go for the scuttle, it looks like.
I mean, he needs to try and stack up several waves. Don't let it hit the turret just yet. Wait to crash the minions into the wave until.
Ooh, we have Lucian going in, he's gonna get the press the attack. He's gonna get the stun proc, and the ignite's gonna go down. It's gonna tick down, and with another shot, Lucian will take down Amended in the 2v2 in the bot lane. Really good play from the Braum this game. Proudkid is tearing it up.
I mean, what can we say? They drafted this bot lane, Lucian Braum, to dominate this lane, and I guess getting kills is part of dominating the lane.
Yeah, they're in a really great spot, especially because Ezreal has a terrible back right here. You back early as Ezreal, you get really depressed. But in goes Jace. He's gonna go for the fight. He's gonna go for the engage. He's dumping in on Mordekaiser, knocking him back. But Mordekaiser is gonna duck away from the shock blast, take a little bit of corrupting potion damage, but he's gonna get out in a whole skin for right now.
And I mean, we're seeing a lot of what we expected. A slight minion lead for the Jace. Jace is using corrupting pots, staying in the lane for as long as he can. Lucian getting ahead in that bot lane. I mean, they're just trading on each side of the map right now.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Just some trades going out.
And one thing we need to look out for right now is Twisted Fate has hit level 6. He bought the CDR boot, so I think he's looking to use it about as much as possible.
Yeah, he's already looking. He's already roaming. Mid lane is no longer an option. He's gonna get spotted, or not. He knows the scuttle. He knows the scuttle vision's there. So
Jace knows he's moving. Jace is smart about it. He backs up, but Twisted Fate, for the low price of walking up into the river, has now given Mordekaiser lane pressure.
Yeah, and this lane bully who we wanted to get stuff done is just not gonna be able to do that because, what if Twisted Fate comes in? Then you're dead.
Yeah, like he's relegated to just trying to farm up. He can never really take fights from, like, whenever Twisted Fate is off the map.
Ooh, we see a Flay coming in from Rock Tank. It doesn't get a whole lot done. Up in the jungle, we have Saknam taking that first dragon, the first Infernal Drake, setting up good timing for that soul, the potential soul coming in for Purdue.
And, it's a free dragon. Might as well take it. All of your camps are down right now. He's power farming up and down the jungle. You have bot lane pressure. You have a Twisted Fate with mid lane pressure. Why not take it?
I mean, there's not much else to do, right?
Yeah.
Might as well just take the free dragon. I mean, Volibear is so far behind right now. It feels really bad to be this Volibear trying to make stuff happen when there's. Well, what are you gonna do? What's Volibear's angle here? What can Volibear do right now to try and turn this around?
I mean, the best thing Volibear can do right now is try and play around his top side, who's currently being abandoned, and as you can see, Graves is pressuring it right now. Jace has to constantly stay behind the half point of the map. Jace isn't being able to do what he's going to do. He's completely even in minions.
Ooh, we had an engage on the bot lane. The hook lands the flay, does not get into the turret. Rock Tank will actually take the bigger part of that damage, the bigger part of that engage there. Just the damage from the Lucian is really good this early, especially because Lucian had picked up a BF sword. Your Ezreal has Sapphire Crystal, and the enemy AD carry has a BF sword. That feels bad. That feels awful. Bad. That just feels awful to be the Thresh right there. Like, what are you supposed to do? We've got a fight in top lane. Wilkie's going to be going in, taking a lot of damage, or doing a lot of damage to the Mordekaiser, who's just going to walk away, give him an emote. The Riven, you know, the good old Spirit Blossom Riven, feeling a little angry right now.
Just imagine what Jace could do in that situation if he didn't have to constantly be scared, where is Graves? Like, he backed off there because he thought Graves might be there because Mordekaiser was running down into the river. Like, it's so easy just for Graves to be there and counter anything Jace wants to do. And now Jace is pushing, and look exactly where Graves is running.
Yeah, Graves is looking to move topside. Absolutely. Probably... Oh, we got a culling coming in. Amenden's going to have to tank that for Rock Tank, but a great hook coming in from Rock Tank, pulling Magic Stick back into the tower, but the true shot barrage manages to turn that around. What looked like a really great engage for Magic Stick and Pout Kid gets turned on them by an excellent Thresh play by Rock Tank right there.
I mean, it is just a classic overdrive, right? You go too far, and
here we go. Twisted Fate's coming in, but is this the place where he wants to be? He gets knocked back into the Volibear ultimate, but there's actually too many more members up here, and the Tarians is in the Death Realm. He's gonna have to flash away from the Mordekaiser, and although this looked like it was might actually be bad for the Twisted Fate, there are just more members on the side of Purdue, and they force IU back.
And that was a really smart counter by Volibear, but they're still on the back foot on the one strong part of their map. I mean, they're losing this Rift Herald now because it was a 3v2. This Victor can't move around like this, like the Twisted Fate can.
And Twisted Fate's going to be TPing back mid. Not a waste of a cooldown because he does in fact have the Unsealed Spellbook, so that'll become any number of things. Ooh, Jace knows that this Herald's happening, and Victor's going to be roaming up. This might actually be Jace going to be diving in on the Graves. Graves will secure.
Oh, he burned flash.
Graves will secure the Herald, get the flash out, but oh boy, yeah, 2 flashes go out. The Herald will end up probably going down as Jace and Volibear just guard that eye, and not a lot of value. Graves just ends up going down for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no chance, and actually, a lot of what they did up there, because they didn't get any kills in the skirmish in the 3v2 fight, so a lot of the value that they needed to get for using that TF ult, for spending time up top with Graves' time, is like, they wanted to get the Rift Herald. Now they don't even get the Rift Herald. I mean, that's a lot of resources wasted by Purdue that weren't able to be turned into anything.
Yeah, you really hate to see that, especially because Purdue had getting some serious tempo in the game, and just losing that kill and losing the Herald there, wasting all that time. It's gonna hurt. Graves still seems to be in a pretty advantageous situation, but you definitely would have rather gotten that Herald without dying.
I mean, it's really difficult when you actually do kill the Herald and you're not able to get the eye. It just feels so bad.
Yeah, that just feels bad. You see, that's why you just don't take Herald, right? So you never have to deal with the heartbreak.
Okay, I mean, never taking Herald might not be a good idea. Just an opinion of mine, though.
Wait, what do you mean? Objectives don't need them. What about farming champions?
Farming champions?
Yeah, farming this champion up top lane. Except, no, not enough damage comes through. Not even enough damage to really go for it.
If it doesn't do damage to champions, then it's not real.
Yeah, that's true. Sure. And we see a dragon picked up, the Ocean Dragon. 2 dragons picked up for Purdue then, and we're gonna see the Mountain Rift. No, have we seen a Cloud Rift today? I feel like
we've seen one, and we were already disappointed about it.
Yeah. So, fortunately, the clouds, it's not a cloudy day, it's a very sunny day here on the Rift.
Mountainous, actually.
Yeah, a lot of mountains. which is, not awful. Both teams aren't super tanky, but they will be picking up tank items, so having the extra resistances from the Mountain Drakes will absolutely help. And if IU picks up 4, for example, this Volibear is going to be pretty hard to kill by everyone.
I mean, we can already tell what the win condition is for Purdue right now. They're trying to go for a Mountain Soul. They want to try and just get as many dragons as humanly possible. They already have 2. Play for the next one. Play for the next one. They have item breakthroughs coming out. Mordekaiser almost has his first item.
Ooh, IU sniff this one out. Magic Stick is going to fire back. The Culling is going to go down, but Rock Tank is so tanky with the Aftershock. Here comes the Twisted Fate. It's going to stun up the Ezreal, but Magic Stick's just not taking so much damage, and the Blast Plant's going to knock everyone back, but the Flash is going to have to get burned, and they went for that aggressive invade, and not much is happening, but for real, here comes Graves attempting to fight this, but he's just in a terrible situation, trying to deal as much damage as possible. He manages to get it back, but the Chaos Storm will take him down. Now Mordekaiser's got amended, locked in the Death Realm. This is looking like a sad AD carry, but he's got multiple people around him, so he's going to get picked up as well. And Wilkie's going to pick that kill up, and that's a 2 for 3 right there, I believe, for IU.
Yeah, it was a good play. I'll be honest.
Yeah, not sure what Purdue exactly was doing, going for that that red buff. I feel like inting for red buff is not my ideal strategy.
I mean,
perhaps.
Maybe they thought they could get a free red buff, get away with it. They weren't going to be seen, but I mean, they sniffed. IU sniffed it out pretty well. Props to them. It's a good counter to the play.
Yeah, that's
So, I mean, the next thing they need to be looking towards is how soon is this dragon spawning? I mean, right now you do have
we got Socknam going up here. I don't know if this is a fight he really wants to take, because the Jace is still really strong, but Socknam's dealing a ton of damage with the red smite and the auto attacks. So Jace is going to get forced back by Socknam. Socknam 2 levels down keeps Jace in check in the top lane. Really, really impressive from the Graves there.
And of course, Lucian and Braum both taking their backs, buying as many items as they can, being as strong as possible because they want pressure in this bot lane. The dragon is going to be up soon, and they need to be ready for it.
Yeah, they absolutely are going to be looking to be as ready for it as possible. Volibear has roam to help bail out his top laner, which is a good thing. Although, so Volibear doesn't have a lot of camps up, so just sitting up here and just chilling, not the worst thing in the world for him to do.
I mean, it's another thing. Like,
ooh, we see an engaged bot lane. Twisted Fate's going to be coming in with his ultimate. The blue card salute is going to be going down. Rock Tank is going to get stunned up multiple times. The True Shot Barrage is going to come in, deal a bit of damage, but not a whole lot. And here comes the real stun card onto Rock Tank, keeping him stuck, keeping him taken down. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Socknam's going to go on Speedy. Speedy's going to trade back a ton of damage with the Chaos Storm. But Socknam goes for the flash, goes for the ambitious engage, but Speedy trades back with the auto attacks on the smackdown. The laser coming in.
The flash to dodge the end of the line, and the flash forward to try and get out of the Chaos Storm and trying to auto attack. That was crazy. Both players were putting their mechanics on full display.
Both players knew exactly what they wanted to do, and right there, it's just Speedy came out on top there, and has another commanding lead on this Victor once again.
And it's just so telling. I mean, so when you are playing a roaming mid laner, it's a given that you're going to fall behind your direct other mid laner, because you're spending time moving around the map. This Victor, I don't think he's walked in the river once. Yeah,
I feel like
he's just been farming waves.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen him wander up. He wandered up to the Herald that one time. I'm pretty sure that's like a
that one time.
One time, but he's content just farming, and
I mean, he has over 10 CS a minute. It's working out for him. He has 3 kills. I mean, I think he's going for a death cap next item. I don't see why he needs to change it.
Lands, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot there.
If it's working for him, if it's getting him this far ahead, why would he stop? I mean, this Victor is hard pressed to carry this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the TF, the roams have been working out for the most part, but they just haven't been getting enough done. And here comes Rock Tank, landing a hook onto Poutkid. Poutkid's in a terrible position, throws up the shield. The Culling going to go down, shred this Volibear, and Stun's going down. The True Shot Barrage shreds the backline, and the Chaos Storm will melt Giraffe Hugs, who does actually manage to take down Victor, but in comes Sharians with the Goomba Stomp, flattening his opponents. The Shock Blast comes in. Lucian's trying to get as much on as he possibly can, but there's just so much damage on the side of IU. Amended carries, pulls it back for his team. That True Shot Barrage basically won that team fight, 2 for 4 in favor of IU, and they get the Dragon too.
It's crazy what happens when you have damage to follow up on your engages. That was a really good engage. Purdue all funneled down into that small choke point between the river and the Pixel Brush, and they capitalized with the AoE of Victor and Volibear, and that True Shot Barrage doing so much damage. I think hitting all 5 members, it's too much damage for one team to handle.
Yeah, and this Ezreal only has an item and a half. What? He was already that dangerous at an item and a half. Just wait until he gets Triforce, and we see more dragons come up, and Ezreal has another item. Okay, not Triforce. We're seeing an IBG. It's understandable.
I mean, Iceborne Gauntlet, it feels weird here. It's a lot more cost effective, but you are facing 2 AP targets that armor is not really going to matter.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's weird.
Yeah, I believe like the slow is not the worst thing in the world to pick up, especially like if he gets locked into Death Realm, it helps him try and kite Mordekaiser a little bit better to try and stay alive. Mm-hmm. It helps him not get murdered by Graves. It's weird. I don't know.
But Graves is already really behind, so I mean, trying to itemize to not die to the 1 in 4 Graves is weird. And it's not like he's hard pressed to get a second item soon. The next dragon isn't going to be up for a while, and even if Purdue get that dragon, it's only soul point. They don't get the soul, so you can play for that stronger item.
Yeah, they have plenty of room to play for that. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like this kind of item, it will get amended a little. It'll get them stronger faster. So maybe IU's looking to turn up the heat and try and play this out faster than they initially anticipated with the lead that they currently are trying to develop. But here comes a fight in the top lane. Volibear is going to get a tickling. He's going to just run away. Okay. He's going to enjoy that.
Maybe look at the Rift Herald this time?
Yeah, maybe, perhaps. They're on a timer now, waiting for
30 seconds. And if there's a contest here, this Rift Herald's probably not going to be able to be taken.
Yeah, the True Shot Barrage is going to go in, does not hit the Herald, and it's going to be secured. And this time for real, Saknam picks up the Herald, and that's got to feel good. You know, finally getting that Herald after what happened, after the fiasco earlier in the game.
So, I mean, after the one fight from IU, believe it or not, once you die and the enemy team's still on the map, you respawn faster and you get to base, you buy your items, and you get out onto the map faster, and that's actually what we saw. Purdue got out into the map faster, they got control of the top river, and it was a free Rift Herald from there on out because IU was so late to play.
Yeah, and Ezreal just picked up his IBG, so he's going to be looking towards the Death Dance next, doing this tankier build. Honestly, not a terrible idea with the Mountain Rift. Didn't consider that. Mountain Rift will make the tank stats just more effective overall. If it was an Infernal Rift, maybe he would have gone Triforce, perhaps. But yeah, seeing some items come in. Twisted Fate picks up Lichbane. Mordekaiser has his Rylai's. A lot of item break points being hit right now across the board for both teams.
So actually right now, the solo laners on the side of Purdue, even with the lost fights, are a lot stronger right now. They're reaching, well, TF has 2.5 items, and Mordekaiser already has 2 items. If you look at the other side, Victor only has 1.5 items, and Jace actually, well, does have his 2 items now. He did have a Serrated Dirk before. But right now, I mean, Purdue is still ahead. Look at the gold lead. They're still like a 1K up.
Yeah, they're playing the map just better than IU is right now. Although a turret will go down another turret will go down in favor of Purdue here. Not much that Wilkie can do there to stop that. Just gotta accept the fact that Mordekaiser is gonna hit that turret, and another turret's gonna go down mid. So a lot of turrets going down across the map. Purdue's cracking this game wide open here despite the kill disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so right now what IU needs to do is they need to play towards. They have their item break modes. They need to try and play towards this dragon. They're out on the map before Purdue is. Braum, He has those wards in his pocket. He needs to get him over to that river. I mean, IU's already there. IU's already getting control. And look at that, sweeping the river. Look at all those peak wards.
Ooh, yep. Gold card locked and loaded, but not a whole lot to do with it. Just gonna show that he can lock it in. It's a very tough skill. You know, hitting the W key at the right time. Very impressive. A lot of players struggle with that. The Herald getting summoned bot side, which will end up creating pressure for the side of Purdue as they look to dance for this dragon.
I mean, it's a classic play. I mean, spawn the Rift Herald, force the other team to respond to it so you get a free dragon, but it doesn't seem like IU is willing to respond to that.
Yeah, we got Mordekaiser topside looking for a flank here. They're going to be dragging out the dragon towards the bottom side of the dragon pit, and IU's going to be looking for a way in. The True Shot Barrage comes in, but the Braum ulti responds. The dragon was stolen by the Tarians, who's now going in on the back line, but he's going to get shredded down. Meanwhile, on the top side of the fight, Rock Tank's going to get locked in the Death Realm, get put in the Death Chamber, but Speedy's also going to get shut down too by the Braum, taking that kill. And although it looks like that's going to be the end of that fight, so although Purdue does steal the dragon, really great heads-up play from the Tarians, Purdue's going to get the kills, get the advantage, and they're going to look for the Baron.
And stealing the Baron's cool and all, but don't lose the game off of it. I mean, this is a free Baron for Purdue now. Purdue's going to snowball this lead into something entirely different. I mean, it's definitely a good fight taken by Purdue. Volibear burnt all of his cooldowns trying to steal that Baron, or not Baron, not the dragon.
Yeah, Ezreal's going to be stepping up. Maybe he'll try and make something happen. That's a freebie right there. As you said, free Baron for Purdue.
And like, Purdue is not going to probably going to end the game with this Baron, but they're going to blow it wide open. They are definitely going to look to try and get one, maybe two inhibitors. They're trying to put the last few nails in the coffin right now.
Yeah, and like in this game, once again, we see IU really incredible and really great players playing really well in fights and in these engages, but in terms of map play, they just are getting outclassed by the macro of Purdue. And here comes an engage, Ezreal being forced to flash and arcane shift here. Fires back a True Shot Barrage, dealing a bit of damage, but here comes the Tarians. And Thresh is on the wings. Thresh is going to be looking to engage. A lot of people are coming up for this fight. Giraffe Hugs gets caught out, will get shut down by the Volibear. And in the bot lane, we are now observing our good friend Victor going for a fight with the TF, and that's a ton of damage coming from the Victor. He has Rabadons. He's so powerful, but Wilkie's going to get caught out right here, but not really. The Culling is going to just go wide as he runs away, and Purdue, although they had the Baron, they get caught across the map, and they lose out, and now IU has tempo.
I mean, Purdue's comp is a lot stronger when they're able to split up IU's team and like take on like say a bunch of different like little skirmishes going on at the one time. If we look at that dragon fight again, there was Mordekaiser in the back taking on two people at once. There was like three people on the other side all focusing down Volibear. They need to break the fight up into segments and take on each like individual skirmishes.
Yeah, because the full-on fight, like a straight 5v5, it feels like IU's just going to win it with the comp that they have. They got to look for these picks. They got to look for splitting up the fight as much as they possibly can. Otherwise, the lead that they're trying to surmount here is just going to disappear like magic. Speaking of magic, the Twisted Fate coming with a gold card is going to be discouraged by the slow field, but ooh, that was an interesting Destiny gate. Going for another stun, another gold card, but Mordekaiser's here now. Unlike the last 1v1, he has a friend this time, and Rock Tank is in a terrible situation right now, getting caught out by the Braum. The Braum ulti's gonna go down and just secure that kill as they're waiting for something. They're just positioning around, waiting for the cooldowns to come back up and take that one down. So Rock Tank and Speedy both getting caught out, and Purdue's flipped the game back on IU once again.
You gotta be aware of the enemy's cooldowns. You can't be that far out when there is a TF on the map, and you know the TF still has his ultimate, and then I don't even know what Thresh is doing.
That's a stun right there for Ezreal. Amended gets caught out and gets slammed down by the Twisted Fate. This TF pick is looking incredible right now. for the side of Purdue, and they're gonna pick up an inhib and possibly more. But
Oh,
here
neat
comes
bitch.
Volibear jumping into the back line. He's gonna try and shred down Socknom. He's dealing a ton of damage, but he's gonna try and get out of this fight. And instead, here comes Purdue. The charge comes in. The Chaos Storm. Yeah, the Chaos Storm is going to discourage them, and the Victor damage is going to stop them, take out the TF, and instead, IU manages to push Purdue back in the bot lane, but in mid lane, Magic Stick on the Lucian is going to just take as much as he possibly can. Volibear will get the slow onto him. He's going to try and get a stun, but he's going to just kite back, and this could actually be a dead Volibear dies to the culling, and now Rock Tank is going to go in and try and get the hook on the Socknam. This fight's going to keep going. Here in comes Jace into the backline, but on the backline on the side of IU, there's a Mordekaiser tearing apart all the carries, and Speedy gets caught out. Speedy gets murdered. Everyone gets murdered. Amended is now going to be the last to go down. Gets pulled in by the Mordekaiser, and he gets stunned up by the Braum, and that's going to be an ace for Purdue.
And like I said, they split the fight up into segments, and they took each different individual skirmish. I mean, look at where each dead champion is. It's in different spots of the base.
Yeah, it's really good. That was just exactly what we needed to see from Purdue. They did everything their comp needed to do, and it always could have been better, but for what they got 2 inhibs and another dragon hitting Soul Point. This game is entirely in Purdue's hands right now, and IU's gonna need to do a lot to bring this one back at this point.
It really is Purdue's game to lose at this point. I mean, they can see the championship in their hands, and they're ready to take it.
Yeah, they're hungry. They're looking to take this one down, and they have the tools to do it. But IU, we've seen, they can scrap. They can turn it back. Speedy is incredibly strong on the Victor. The Ezreal has 3 items now. The Jace is going to be picking up his 3rd item pretty soon. These champions have the capability to take down Purdue's team, but it's just going to come down to execution if IU can manage to bring this back.
And if there's one thing Purdue has done better almost the entire tournament, is they played to their win conditions almost to a T. I mean, they know what they need to play for. They've been playing for these dragons. I mean, there might be a few mishaps, but they know what they need to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. The Purdue is just showing what needs to be done in these games at all times, and it's really good. Here comes the TF Ultimate Destiny Gate's going to come down. The Lantern will bring him to safety, and now the mid lane is actually going to be in a little bit of danger, but not a whole lot of danger. The stun comes out from the Braum and the Lucian combo, taking down some low health bars, but nobody really in too much danger, as the Baron is going to be spawning really soon.
I mean, they have this Baron control. Volibear just had the back, so did Thresh. I mean, how do you contest this Baron now when you're still losing your tier 2 tower as it's up? Like, yeah, there's not a world where IU can walk in to this Purdue team.
Yeah, especially because the Drafthugs is on the bot side. He's splitting with that huge wave of super minions, and he has TP. Magic Stick's just gonna go back onto the Jace. Maybe a bad idea because he almost gets taken down, but both of them just gonna limp away with the help of their teammates. Looking for the Baron. Looking like could be a reset, or it could just be a straight attempt at it. Yeah, here it goes. Here comes the Baron attempt.
They're pulling off right now because they see the TP coming in. They got the TP. That's what they wanted. Jace can no longer sit down in the bot side and clear minion waves. I mean, now they constantly have to worry about super minions hitting their base, or they have to send Victor, and Victor can't do flank TPs. I mean, burning Jace's TP is huge there, and they're starting the Baron back up.
Yeah, they're getting the Baron right now, and it looks like Mordekaiser's in the backline. He's looking to zone out as many people as possible, but he's gonna be behind enemy lines. He's probably gonna lock someone in the Death Realm pretty soon. But who's it gonna be? Who's gonna join him? It's gonna be Thresh in the Death Realm, as the rest of his team is gonna get engaged on behind him. Drafthugs will manage to take down Rock Tank in the backline. He's probably gonna get shut down too by the Ezreal, unless the Destiny Gate comes in from the side, managing to lock down Amended and force him out of the fight. Volibear engages, but he just doesn't have enough damage to take down the Mordekaiser. So Mordekaiser takes a kill back. Now it's up to 3 people against the Baroned up Purdue University, looking to end this game right now.
And it's just another thing. They couldn't contest that Baron. They needed to give the Baron and try and take a fight later, but Now the game is all but just over. I mean, you had Jace in the bot lane clearing minions. You can't take a 4v5.
Yeah,
there goes the Nexus.
Yeah, there's a ton of damage. It's coming down. The first Nexus turret's going to fall. The second one's going to fall. IU's going to make a last stand right here, but there's nothing going to be done. They're just going to hit the Nexus, and that's going to be Purdue taking the game over IU 2-0 in the finals here. And wow, that was an incredible game from Purdue. That was a masterclass in what they were going to do with their comp and executing it.
And even though it was a 2-game series, it was extremely close. Both the 2 games, it could have gone either way. And huge props to Purdue for taking home the battle for Indiana.
Yeah, huge props for taking at least the League of Legends portion. Of course, we still will have to crown the winner of the tournament. So I believe this is where I believe we will be signing off here. But thank you for enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast of the League of Legends portion of Battle for Indiana. And when we come back from this break, we will be crowning the winner of the entire tournament. So stay tuned for that. And you're going to want to see it because we kind of already know who won, but still give the respect to the people who did well. And congrats to Purdue once again for winning the League of Legends portion of this tournament.
All right, let's go.